set up in 1972, 50 years back. So we are celebrating 50 years now in 2022 onwards. In 1988, we have started this National Management Program, which is now called Postgraduate Diploma in Management, Business Management. Again in 1994, we have started the Postgraduate Program in Management, which is now known as PGDM. In 1999, the fellow program was started. In 1999, we have started this part-time postgraduate program in management. This program is very well received by the corporate and industry. For this HRM program, we have started the journey from 2004. Again, this executive fellow program, since we were having this fellow program in 1999. So for from the demand of industry and the corporate, we have started this fellow program, executive fellow program for working executive who could not come and devote their full time in the fellow program. So we have started this executive fellow program in management in 2004. In 2005, this energy management program was started. In 2005, Association of MBA, we have got this AMBA accreditation in 2005. And again, 2006, we have got this SAQS accreditation. In 2006, we have started this international business program in association in collaboration with ESCP Europe. In 2006, again, this PGP public policy program was introduced. We have got AMBA accreditation in 2011, 2015, and third in 2019. And we have received this prestigious AACSB accreditation and AMBA accreditation third in 2021. And we have just now in last academic year, we have started this PGDM Business Analytics program. This is the vision and mission of the institute. Core values. 2-year full-time residential program, which the MDI is offering is PGDM, PGDM-HRM, PGDM International Business, which is in collaboration with ESCP Europe. ESCP Europe provides, this is a dual degree program. Master in Management is provided by ESCP Europe, and Postgraduate Diploma in Management International Business, which is being provided by MDI Gurgaon, and PGDM Business Analytics, which we have started last year. So these are the 4 programs of graduate program, which for which we are holding this webinar today, apart from the other courses which we have already discussed. If you talk about the specialization in PGDM program, in PGDM program, we have specialization in accounting and finance, information management, marketing management, operations management, strategy, and general management. A student can, opt for specialization to interest area. Suppose someone wants to specialize in marketing and finance, so they can specialize. But for that, at least 5 elective courses from each of the area of specialization are required to be taken by the student. So these are the specialization area in PGDM. In PGDM HRM, students are basically, exposed to various interdisciplinary core courses during term 1 to term 4. And in term 5 and term 6, they have to complete 8 elective courses. And out of 8 elective courses, they are encouraged to take 2 elective courses from other areas apart from this OB and HR. So this is related to HRM. Now for PGDM Business Analytics, the student have to complete 27 core courses from different areas that are spread in term 1 to term 4. And 24 credit through elective courses. This is in term 5 and term 6. And 8 elective they have to complete, and the maximum 2 elective offers are from other functional areas apart from OM and IM area. However, the students want to opt elective from OM area, they want to, allowed to do so. PGDM-IB program, we have spread over this program into this ESCP runs into semester, whereas we run here in this term wise. So term 1 and term 2, they complete here, and semester 3 and 4, they have to complete in ESCP Europe. And after that, they come back in term 6 and complete these courses. And this is a dual degree program approved by All India Council for Technical Education. Students get 2 degrees, one from MDI Gurgaon, that is PGDM International Business, and Master in Management from ESCP Europe. And during their semester equivalent to term 3, 4 and 5, that is semester 2 and 3 of MIM program, the students are, they pursue their courses in various campuses of ESCP Europe, like Paris, Berlin, Madrid, Turin, and London campuses. This is basically the accreditation we have already spoken about. These are the rankings right from 2017 to 2022. So we have been ranked between 5 to 9 by various magazines and various agencies. So this you can see from the slides. So this is the NIRF ranking, which is being released by Ministry of Education, Government of India. So now we are 13 in the management category. So this is basically key highlights. We have alumni network 10,000 plus, and regular alumni meets are held in various places across India. This is placement data. You can see from we have given the data of 3 academic years. The recent batch 21-23 who has just been passed out. The average salary for PGDM is 28.96 lakh. HRM is 26.5 lakhs and IB for 25.2 lakhs. Whereas maximum salary is 60 lakhs for PGDM, 56 lakhs for HRM and 60 lakhs for IB. And we have 100% placements and students get multiple offers, so they have the option to choose from multiple offers. This is the fee structure of PGDM, PGDM-HRM and Business Analytics program. Tuition fees 18 lakh 12,800 and other fee is mentioned. Boarding fee is 1,45,000. 179 is lodging charges. So this total is around 24 lakhs 16,800. This is applicable for 3 programs: PGDM, PGDM-HRM and PGDM Business Analytics. For PGDM International Business Program, the tuition fees is 24 lakhs 70,000 and total fees 28 lakhs 16,000. This include the tuition fees which is to be given to ESCP Europe. I mean, student has nothing to pay to ESCP Europe. And apart from academics, we have these clubs and committees. So student can join these clubs and committees according to their interest areas. And these are the cultural events and other events which we conduct around the years. So this is all from my end. I open the forum for further, question and answer. This specialization comes in second year. They have to choose the elective courses in term 4, 5, 6 before they go for summer internship in term 3. So they have to opt for electives and we offer many electives and according to their choice of specialization, they can select electives. In PGDM program, maximum 14 electives and maximum 17 electives they can take.
Hi, good evening. If I may add to what Sharma ji said, during the third term, that is post-midterm, by the time students are already placed for their summers as well, they have appeared for a couple of interviews. They have also attended a couple of industry talks and incendos. So that's the time they kind of figure out by the mid of third term that where their specialization has to be and they kind of develop their interest areas. That's also the time when we ask them to fill and choose their specialization, not before that.
After 1 year, complete 1 year at MDI, 3 terms, they have to choose the elective. By that time, they have, I think from the seniors, they get advices. Personally, they can meet the faculty members and can take the advice. But by that time, they must have made up their mind which specialization I would like to take. And many of them are also from the industry with their work ex. Suppose somebody is working in subfloor. If he likes to take operation management, he can continue in that. So this is a combination of many factors that may influence someone to take the electives. But primarily, seniors are there, they would be advising, and the interest of the student. We are open for, students can take any elective on their choice. Only they can ask for advice, what can be the second specialization, what are the papers within the specialization that will be more industry friendly or industry oriented. So this is how we can help them giving the inputs. So Professor Kishore, I think had some points you can.
Just to add on to that, and when they are in the process of choosing the electives, they also are well informed in terms of what each of the course covers in terms of the course outline, and they get sufficient time to take a decision on that. So course outlines are typically shared upfront with the students, and in between, if they have some doubts, they can approach respective faculty or the GP office for a better understanding of what would be included, what not be included, who would be the guest speakers, what kind of sessions we are going to cover. All that information is available. And the whole idea is that decisions must be well informed. And in the process, definitely all the stakeholders are there to help them out. seniors, the GP office, the faculty, all of us are here to help them out in terms of finalizing their decision.
And just to add to it, I mean, what Professor Kishore Gangwani has said, I mean, the graduate program office, schedule a session where all areas present their elective before the students. So they are well aware what is being taught to, what will be taught in that elective and their interest area also. I mean, in case they are interested in marketing, they can come and the marketing area present their elective courses. So accordingly, they can choose after, getting to know what is being taught and what will be taught in this marketing elective.
Specialisation, no such requirement once they are in. So they can take their own electives as per their choice. So we have no other criteria except for one. If any faculty restricts the number of seats, that I want only 60 students in this subject, so then only we have some checks and balances. Otherwise, we have some measures to put on to make it 60. Otherwise, they are free to choose their own subject. So on elective courses, there is no restriction. But regarding this admission process, yes, there are plenty. So we have, that's what I'm saying. We have, besides your academics, we also give importance to diversity in terms of engineering, non-engineering, in terms of gender, in terms of sports, geographical diversity. So we have all diversity that we consider while calculating the application score. So the profile score is not necessarily only academic scores. It includes both academics as well as non-academics. So combinedly, we will decide the application score. Work experience is a must. The factors are diversity, then WOCX. So diversity in terms of gender diversity, diversity in terms of academic diversity, diversity in terms of geographical diversity, sports versus non-sports, and then WOCX. So these are all the normal. In addition to academics, we consider these things for application score. The only thing is that carries some weight. Let's say that carries 10% weight. So if you do not score 10 and you make up the 10 from other, because there's only 90% marks are there. If you score from there, so you are in. So in our class, if you look at, maybe around 30-40% would be freshers. So 60-70 would be with WOCX, correct? So even in WOCX also, one doesn't get full mark with 5 months experience or 1 year experience. So it's a progressive score. Somebody goes for 1 year, gets some different score. Somebody has 2 years of experience, has a different score. Somebody has 3 years, has a different score. So that's why it's a progressive score. And somebody doesn't have anything, gets 0. But it doesn't mean that you are ruled out from the selection process. So you have to make it up from other parameters that we have. Yeah, Kishore, anything you want to add?
No, sir, I want to add for this PGDM-IB program, freshers can't apply. I mean, they should have at least 1 year work experience after their graduation degree, and graduation degree also should be of 4 years duration. This is the requirement of the program.
Just if I may add, as already mentioned by Professor Ashutosh and Mr. Rakesh Sharma, PGIB plus MIM, Masters in Management. So if we see Masters in Management from ESCP Europe is one of the top 5 degrees. And to get admission in ESCP, one has to score somewhere around 750 kind of GMAT score. So an MDI student gets an advantage there with kind of CAT score they have to sit with those students who are qualifying a GMAT and then taking admission there. The fee otherwise at ESCP is almost 70 to 80 lakh. It varies from campus to campus. But an MDI student get an advantage to study 1 term in Paris and maybe 1 term anywhere else. So these are the advantages of getting admission in PGIB plus MIM degree. In the same duration, you earn 2 degrees. MDI has a reputation, so that degree has a lot of value. And when we look at some of the top recruiters today, they give advantage to 2 things. One, if somebody has an international exposure. So a PGIB student in MDI has that international exposure because you spend 1 year there and you do almost a 5 to 6 month kind of internship in a foreign location. Second, any recruiter would look at someone who understands the language of sustainability, who has done some kind of course or specialization in sustainability, be it finance, so you have sustainable finance, you have reporting, some of these areas there. Similarly, in marketing, similarly in operations, we have certain subjects areas which are there. So when we look at the elective basket in MDI, we do offer a couple of subjects which are around sustainability. So one understands the language to speak. But when we look at ESCP, they offer a whole track on sustainability, which is around their core courses because it is embedded within their philosophy. So that's one advantage which this student or has when he takes admission here. But another thing is that because ESCP takes admission after 4 years plus 1 year of work ex. So as we know, all the foreign institution, be it US or Europe, they recognize a 4-year degree. So this becomes one of the limitation of somebody who is not honors student, because we see now a lot of students who do some kind of honors in economics or other areas. They have a 4-year degree, or in engineer who have a 4-year degree program plus 1 year of mandatory work experience. So that's a limitation for somebody who's applying. So student is able to justify the gap year in terms of any kind of, let's say it was a personal or a medical emergency, that should not be a problem. But the only thing is there should be a justification. Even, what I have observed in placements, too high a work experience sometimes become a deterrent. Not all the companies, especially if you look at non-durable FMCG kind of companies, they would not take somebody with a very high work experience. So that becomes a limitation. Otherwise, most companies, they have no deterrent like that in terms of experience.
Chances remain strong because we are not giving undue weightage to one of the components. There are multiple components, including the CAT score, including the prior academic experience, where Ria is a bit worried that the scores are not on the higher side. But it's just a weightage given to each of those components, and those components are, if I'm not wrong, around 5 to 10%. So still there is an opportunity to overcome that limitation through the CAT score, through in terms of the interview, in terms of other extracurricular, in terms of the gender diversity. So there is enough opportunity available, and still there is a possibility that he may be able to make through the process, right? So the past scores are definitely important, but the current efforts invested in terms of overcoming the prior challenges is also acknowledged. And in the process, if she scores reasonably good in terms of CAT and admissions interview process, that can be Rakesh sir, what was our CAT cutoff last year?
CAT cutoff was 90 last year, or lowest 90, and sectional cutoff also. We look for sectional cutoff also, but for a candidate whom we have selected for further process, the cutoff was 90.
They participated in the interview process.
Yes.
And overall application score was created for people who had 90 percentile plus.
That's a kind of a benchmark, I guess. Ria can look at admissions at MDI. If she gets 90 percentile above.
No, that may vary. May vary. That varies from year to year. So
but this is the last year cutoff. So
yes. So
just as a benchmark and indicator.
Yes. It is an indicator to the candidates that 90 plus last year we have shortlisted for GD and PI process. And since it varies, so this is basically a benchmark. So you can think about it and prepare accordingly, but it varies from year to year. So what will be the cutoff this year? This will depend on the number of applications we receive and the CAT score and other applicants, perform in the CAT exam.
Typically in the interview process, we look for two components. One is the oral communication part, which is there, and English being a slightly more globally accepted language, that's somewhat required. But that cannot be a deterrent to someone's chances of being in MDI, because we also look for the objectivity in terms of the responses which they are sharing during the interview process. So someone may be really good in terms of their communication skills, but the kind of responses which we are getting from them may not be as great. So definitely English gives an advantage, but it cannot be at a disadvantageous position if you are doing really well in CAT, if you are well aware about the global issues, things which are happening in the business world. So if those kind of things can be, it can compensate. So your lack of understanding in terms of English can be compensated, and English, by the way, is a way of communicating, which can be definitely improved with time. So that should not be a major challenge, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's just an apprehension. He says he can communicate, but it's just that he can't.
And once you are in, you will find that there are enough people who are able to help you out to overcome this challenge, because people quite a lot start communicating with each other. People are from different states, and once you start communicating with them, your skills do improve a lot. In terms of the CAT score, I must say that start working for 100. Don't stop at 90, right? Because that's what is going to help you in terms of compensate for lack of things in any other component. So start working for 100, not for 90, number one. Number two, in terms of extracurricular activities, Rakesh ji earlier shared that we have around 23 clubs at MDI, and more or less each and every student aligns themselves with one of the interest areas. They find their own interest aligned with those clubs. Typically, each and every student is part of at least one club. Some students are there who are part of the cultural society, and they participate into all the cultural events. Someone who is part of the debating club. So all these things are possible. Depends on where you align your interest well with, and where do you find your interest aligned to. So there are enough opportunities for that.
Actually, it also means that you have different weightage, for work experience, for gender diversity and such. So I don't think he has much of extracurricular activities in terms of certification. So that's the apprehension that he has for admission. So I think that is something that you have decided. It's just one part of the selection process. So I think that can be actually looked at.
Yeah, but still, working around two of the major components are the CAT score, and other one is the interview process. These two are the major components. So there is a possibility that doing well in these two components can help them out. There is a possibility.
Summer internship is a mandatory part of the program. It's not something which is an option. It is a credited activity. A student is supposed to work and get industry exposure so that whatever they have studied in 3 terms, they can go apply and learn. So these are multiple projects which are offered during their internship by companies. They come on campus, they select students. They go work in these companies to have a feel of application of these concepts and frameworks which they have studied in these 3 terms. So this by and large starts from 1st of April till about end of May, first week of June. Then they come back and start for their 4th semester. Whatever they work during these projects, they have to come back and they make a summer internship project presentation as well as submission of the report, which is equivalent to 1 credit. It has 2 credits when it comes to PG-IB, because in IB, the summer internship happens in Europe, and that duration is 5 to 6 months.
After they complete the summer internships, and then they have a better knowledge about what specializations they can take up and then.
No, they have to select their specialization, the subjects the electives which they are going to study before they go for their summer internship. So that will take place somewhere towards the end of term 3. But they are already placed in their summer internship companies. So they know what kind of company they are placed in, what kind of interest they have developed during these 3 terms. They have already done multiple projects across multiple areas, because if you see by and large in the core papers in term 1, 2 and 3, they study the kind of length across specialization. For example, they have introductory subjects in marketing, operations, finance, information management, strategy, all of these areas. So once you know the length, you kind of develop your area of interest. And also once you know that what kind of project and summer internship company I am getting into, with the guidance from both faculty as well as their seniors and alums, they decide on their specialization before they go for their internship.
And to add to it, what Professor Kirti Sharma has just informed, in case, since the students select their area of electives before they proceed for summer internship, in case they develop some kind of interest there in a particular subject or a particular area, they can choose or they can swap that elective. They can choose that elective later on also. I mean, 1 or 2 electives, the graduate program office take care of that. I mean, they can choose that elective in case they develop some kind of interest during their summer internship program.
Just to add on what Professor Kirti has already shared, SIP is in a way an opportunity for students to showcase their potential to the future recruiters, because quite a lot of the organizations which are recruiting students for SIPs are also participants in our final placement process. They may offer them pre-placement offers. So in a way, these 2 months give the confidence to the organization as well as the student, both to showcase what they can really do for the organization. And quite a lot of our students do get benefited through SIPs. Their learnings in those 2 months give organizations, quite a large confidence that, oh, this is the guy which I was looking for. So those 2 months are good enough to justify your presence in the organization and how you can contribute. Quite a lot of our students get PPOs through that. If not PPOs, quite a lot of students also get PPIs, pre-placement intents, in terms of when they want to, in the future, if they want to be considering their placement in that company, that's also possible. So that's kind of opportunity for students to showcase their potential.
If I may add, in fact, some of the companies, they recruit only through the PPO route because they want to test whether and especially in finance, if we see most of the top companies, they recruit more from a PPO route because they want to see whether the person has ample knowledge about the line of work they are into, and they also test whether the person can work well and embed well in their organizational culture. So that testing is done during the summer internship, and hence internship becomes extremely important. In fact, if I see, almost 40 to 45% of our placement we try to do through PPO and PPI route. And then there are at least top 30-35 companies who launch case study competition. The more one participate in these open case study competition, either they offer placement or again a pre-placement interview kind of offering to these students across campuses. So most of these companies, they open these type of competitions only to the top 10-12 institution. And there are almost this year, like 35 companies have opened their case study competitions in MDI. See, most of the time the student lies to whatever opening is coming. But having said that, one has to be really mindful that if you are waiting for a company to come later, that, okay, this is my dream company and I'll wait. You never know. Sometimes the industry situation is like that they cut down on their numbers and then your chances become extremely less. So we try and tell students to apply for as many companies as possible, depending on their area of interest. Because if it is finance, you would apply to the finance companies who are coming. Similarly for consulting, strategy, marketing, FMCG, durable, like that. First, the student apply. Once you apply, we send the profile of all those students who have applied to the company. They send a shortlist and then students appear. So some companies will have a process again of further coming to lowering the numbers through maybe a GD or multiple level of interviews. Some conduct some interviews online, some offline. Sometimes some companies have a psychometric test as well before calling a student for an interview. So Process depends on how company has informed, and generally they inform beforehand in their pre-placement talk for both summers as well as finals, and a student prepare himself accordingly. So there is a prep team who works simultaneously along with alums to prepare students for these interviews on campus.
MDI requires at least 50% in 10th, 12th and graduation. So in case you have less than that, I mean, in case you are getting 99.99, we will not short.
See, also, I mean, sometimes I have seen, not many a times, but there are certain companies who are extremely serious about academics. So even if you have made it to MDI, sometimes if your maybe 10th, 12th or graduation marks are not great, you may not get a shortlist, irrespective of how good your rest of the profile is. So some companies are like that. So one need to be, mentally prepared about it. And if I may say, as a prof and as a parent as well, कुछ पाप जो आप लोगों ने करे होते हैं ना, वो जिंदगी भर साथ नहीं छोड़ते. So academics is one of those things. You can't go back in past and correct it, but yeah, you can make your profile better as you move forward. These are handful of companies, again, I would mention. But yeah, academics, by and large, remains important for an individual.
Or let me put it other way, consistency in academics is better rewarded than otherwise. So higher the scores in your prior academics, it gives you a added advantage.
We have, 100% tuition fee waiver scheme to the students who have family income less than 8 lakh rupees. So around 15 seats in PGDM and 6 in PGDM-HRM are being offered to the students whose family income is less than 8 lakh rupees, and 100% tuition fee waiver is being given to those students. Apart from this tuition fee waiver scheme, we have another merit cum means scholarship scheme where we give 50% tuition fee waiver. Again, the income criteria is same. I mean, one family income should not be more than 8 lakh rupees. So we give scholarship also.
We can't answer because there are multiple panels and almost all the faculty members and a few senior alums, they are involved in the process. So can't say what question will come from which direction. But by and large, if somebody is well prepared with what's happening around in business, economic, general awareness about even politics and, whatever your area and subject. So if somebody has studied, says, I've done physics honors or I've done mathematics, make sure that at least one faculty in the panel or one person in the panel will be from that area. So this is how, when profiling has been done and the panels are being set, we see to it that there is a technical person and then there is somebody from HR, OB kind of background. So one has to be really prepared with, one, your subject academics, two, general awareness, general knowledge, the day-to-day things which are happening around you. So we believe that someone who's coming to MDI and is a well-grounded individual who's aware, then it is bare minimum expected that you read newspaper, you know what's happening in the country, globally, some top news during that week, during that month, maybe that quarter. What are the top 3 things which you may mention? What are the implications? So some sense of, logical thinking is something which we would look at. That can an individual really think logically, can analyze a situation, can have a standpoint. So these are the things which will be tested through that interview.
And a lot of times what you write in your application, that works as a pointer for the panelists. So, for example, if you are writing about your interest in sports, maybe questions may revolve around those things which you have already mentioned in your application. So, whatever you are writing in your application, we believe that that's your area of interest, or that's where you are more confident about. Sometimes, if you are lucky, you may even ask your interest area during the interview process itself, and questions may revolve around that. But yeah, Professor Kirti is right that at least having an understanding of the surrounding business environment and your academics, your interest area, that's a good point to start with. Accreditations at the larger level help us being more process oriented. So in a way, it helps us benchmark our current set of understandings, our current set of methodologies across the global partners. So in a way, we are following more or less what other peers, what other competitors are doing in the market. And we are constantly being ranked on that. We are constantly being evaluated on that. So it's not that what we have said, we are not doing that. So whatever we are committing, we have to align well with that. So accreditations and rankings in a way gives the stakeholders a confidence that we are aligned to the global best practices. That's where it helps. And in of the AACSB, yeah, it's true that nowadays a lot of these schools in India have that, and you can consider it as a hygiene factor in the near future. Currently, it has affiliation with very few institutes in India, but future is around that. Everyone needs to have that kind of understanding where accreditation and ranking will help in terms of boosting your career growth even at a higher level.
Also, if I may add, MDI has across Europe, US, and Southeast Asia, and some of the other nations, other continents, almost 67 partner business schools, where we run a very powerful exchange program. In fact, almost every third or fourth student at MDI gets a chance to do an exchange term in one of our partner schools. So when we, so these type of partnerships and MOUs are very time bound. If we see a partner institution doesn't see MDI growing or doesn't see that they are continuously getting the three, we call it a triple crown. If you have AACSB, AMBA, EQUAS, all these accreditation, if you do not have these accreditation, they will not renew their MOUs. So it's also kind of more about not national, but international standing and an international recognition. Because otherwise, if a school doesn't have this, and you can see most of the other management schools in India will not have a large pool of international MOUs and exchange program like this. In fact, for that reason, IIM Ahmedabad is number 2 in terms of the exchange. MDI is number 1 in terms of that kind of exchange which we run. So these accreditation help us to benchmark MDI internationally, not so for national.
Global acceptance improves a lot in that way. You're right.
I think I mentioned earlier, it varies from company to company. Some companies will ask for very specific profile. They put a criteria or a filter across that we only need people with this kind of background in graduation, with these kind of academics, with this specialization in the second year and like that. So it totally depends on what kind of roles they are opening and what kind of criteria they are putting it across. So once they send us that criteria, we send all the profiles to the companies, and then the shortlisting happen at their end. And on the basis of that shortlisting, either they conduct the process, which is sometimes multiple level of interviews. Some companies will conduct maybe 1 or 2 levels of interviews. Some may conduct a test first, then shortlist, then send a shortlist. So anybody who's applying will have to appear for a test, and then the shortlist comes, whosoever qualifies that test. So it varies from company to company, but once you take admission in MDI, you would be more aware about which company, what kind of process, because this kind of training and information download is done on campus through, as I mentioned, both placement team as well as preparation team, the prep team, and they prepare students on those lines.
Deadline for the application, I would suggest that don't wait for the last date as to avoid last minute rush. And we don't extend the date of application. Application deadline is 24th November, 5 p.m. We'll close it. And in case a candidate want to apply, they can apply well in time, because every year we get so many calls after closing of application that we could not apply and something like that. So they are advised
Yeah,
not
in
to
that
wait.
sense, in fact, I may say that a lot of times students wait till the end, or they kind of underestimate. They don't apply, and then later on, when they get their CAT score, then they want to apply to MDI. So that window is closed on 24th at 5 p.m. So even if you think you have bleak chances, I would suggest try to keep your windows of opportunities open as much as possible, and make your application as suggested by Mr. Rakesh Sharma well in time, so that it's not incomplete at the last moment.
But actually don't wait for CAT, because CAT is going to be on 26th, but fill in your applications, and once the CAT score comes in, you still have an application, and then you can process it further.
Yeah, this is standard practice adopted by MDI Gurgaon, that we close down application before the CAT examination. And CAT examinations, the CAT examination 26th or 27th. We are closing our application on 24th November exactly at 5 p.m. So, I mean, those who want to apply, they can apply before 24th. I mean, they can apply. I suggest they can apply either 22nd, 23rd, because 24th we have lots of application lined up, and they have problem by paying fee of application fee and all that. So I would suggest and request them, those who want to apply, they can apply in time before 5 p.m. on 24th of November. I am reiterating that we will not extend the application deadline in any case.
So that's the deadline for applying to MDI. Thank you so much for being with us today and giving us a lot of insights about the admission and other stuff at MDI. Students, if you have any questions, please write down to us at info@career360.com, or you can even write down to the admission office at MDI, and you'll be having all the answers. Again, the deadline is 24th of November, 5 p.m. So please apply before that.